Yes, good evening and welcome to Headingley for tonight's Super League tussle between Leeds Rhinos and Castleford Tigers. Leeds, fancied by many to become the champions at the end of the season, are playing tremendously well, and Castleford, well, there's always a little bit of grit when these two sides meet. The teams, let's start off with Leeds Rhinos. At fullback they have Marcus Centeleur. Their three quarters are Leroy Rivet, Marvin Golden, Francis Cummings and Paul Sterling. The halfbacks are Darryl Powell and Yestin Harris. The forwards Anthony Farrell, Terry Newton, Barry McDermott, Kevin Sinfield, Andy Hay and Mark Glanville. And the four substitutes Adrian Morley, Carl Pratt, Lee Jackson and Jamie Matteo. Castleford Tigers line up with Jason Flowers at fullback. Their three quarters are John Wells, Darren Rogers, Richard Gay and Danny Ellison. The halfbacks Michael Egar and Danny Orr, and the forwards Dean Sampson, Brad Eppie, Nathan Sykes, Gail Tallick, Andy Hill and Dale Fritz. The substitutes for Castleford are Andy Lynch, Aaron Raper, Gareth Dobson and Paul Smith. The referee tonight is Mr. Bob Connolly, Wigan based of course, and Leeds Rhinos take to the field having already seen Castleford Tigers do so. Good crowd again at Headingley here to watch this match tonight, and Bob Connolly, well, he'll be relishing this one. And the conditions, by the way, are absolutely perfect. Castleford Tigers then to get the game underway. And what a cracking game we've got in prospect. Here we go. A long high kick into Rhinos territory then. And the first move of the game we can see deep inside the Leeds Rhinos territory. We'll see the Rhinos trying to push clear and trying to make good headway forward. A long ball out to this left wing. Again, the tackling coming in quick, but Francis Cummings there to take the ball forward. He plays the ball to Paul Sterling. Sterling moves the ball in field. Barry McDermott tries his first break of the evening. Kevin Sinfield goes forward and he'll play the ball to Terry Newton. Newton moves the ball to his right-hand side. Darryl Powell tries the diagonal kick forward. It's a high one, bounces a couple of times, but way too hard and runs over the dead ball line. So the first Leeds Rhinos attack of the night comes to nothing, but Castleford Tigers can take a warning from it as Brad Eppie takes the tap again. And Castleford this time have a chance to feel the tackling power of the Rhinos as they try and drive the ball towards the 40-metre line. In possession, Andy Hill. Andy Hill will play the ball once again to Brad Eppie. Eppie moves the ball to his left-hand side. But again, the tackling coming in. There always appears to be two men there for Leeds Rhinos as Castleford make it over the halfway line. Still no score here after a couple of minutes played. Leeds Rhinos 0, Castleford Tigers 0. And the kick forward there heads for touch. And that's a good one. A long-distance kick there. Almost followed up there by the big number 5, John Wells, but it is a scrum down, head and ball to Leeds Rhinos. Bob Connolly gesticulates there on the 10-metre line. 1, 2, 3 other people besides the referee on the field of play there all at once, but not interfering as Yestin Harris moves the ball across the field. Leeds again looking lively in these early stages. Leroy Rivet waiting out on his wing patiently for the ball, clapping his hands in expectancy, but the penalty has gone the way of Leeds Rhinos, and again it's Yestin Harris to punt the ball into the crowd on the right-hand side just before the halfway line, forcing the way forward. Good play by Anthony Farrell. Again, they move the ball sweetly, the Rhinos going forward. Barry McDermott always makes the yardage. Tremendous player. Yestin Harris moving the ball along the line. Leeds doing very well indeed. Mark Glanville on the ball. Glanville plays the ball to the number 13, Darryl Powell, who again shifts it And this time it's Terry Newton from acting halfback to Darryl Powell to Iestyn Harris. Harris brings in Anthony Farrell. Anthony Farrell can't go anywhere and can't release the ball because of the tackle coming in the first case from Dale Fritz. Now again it's Iestyn Harris who tries the kick forward, but it's well taken up and easily saved there by Richard Gay in the first instance. Castleford Tigers then have another chance to come away with the ball. We've been playing here at Headingley now for some 5 minutes in the first half, and it's still Leeds Rhinos 0, Castleford Tigers 0, and it's the Tigers on the attack, albeit deep inside their own half of the field. The ball went loose. It's picked up there by, it looks like Darryl Powell. It is Darryl Powell, and this time the ball moves across to Kevin Sinfield. Sinfield, though, can't release the ball amid the tackle coming in from the Tigers. Again it's Barry McDermott. Barry McDermott slips the ball out there to Francis Cummings. Cummings tackled just yards from the line, and Leeds opened up a gap there just for a split second as Anthony Farrell has the ball right in front of the Tigers post. Again he's tackled, plays the ball to Terry Newton. Newton finds Iestyn Harris. Harris moves it to Darren Rogers. In fact, sorry, on possession it's Marvin Golden, and Marvin Golden heads for the line, and again he's held just short with the last tackle coming up. Tremendous play from Leeds here as Andy Hay slips the ball back, and this is a try, is it? No, the referee has already stopped play, and indeed Terry Newton looked back aghast there, but it was a good set of play there from Leeds Rhinos, and Castleford Tigers were up against it. It's the Tigers then that come away with the ball in the centre of the field, trying to make the yardage, but the tackling and the defence from Leeds inside the visitors' half of the field has been superb throughout, and already they've created one disallowed try and one very, very good opening on the left-hand side. Penalty, as referee Bob Connolly has a few words with one or two of the Castleford Tigers players, Richard Gay in particularly there, and he's given the penalty the way of Castleford Tigers. So an opportunity here for the Tigers to clear their defensive lines, almost on the 20-metre line, inside the Tigers' territory. It's still Leeds Rhinos 0, Castleford Tigers 0. And Leeds being forced back by the penalty. The man who takes the tap there, Brad Eppie, moves the ball in field to Dean Sampson. Dean Sampson will play the ball to Eppie. Eppie moves to the right-hand side, then brings in Gail Tellick. Tellick moves the ball across to Eppie again. Eppie this time brings in Danny Orr. Danny Orr, though, is tackled in the middle of the field by Anthony Farrell in the first place. And again, the Tigers can move it out to the left-hand side. Dale Fritz in possession. Fritz will play the ball to Brad Eppie. Eppie moves it in field there to Nathan Sykes. Sykes tried to move to the right-hand side, couldn't. It's Eppie again who takes the ball from acting halfback, switches direction and play. It comes into Dean Sampson. Castleford are looking dangerous here. Sampson dropped the ball back to Danny Orr, and Danny Orr right between the posts puts the first score of the evening on the board, somewhat against the run of play here. It was Brad Eppie who ran to the right, switched directions, caught Leeds off guard there, and the ball moved through to Dean Sampson. Sampson hesitated, then slipped the ball left, and there in great support was Danny Orr, and Orr, well, he only had to race the last 5 metres right between the sticks to touch down for the first try of the evening, and Danny Orr will try and convert his own try, and there it is. The latest score here at Headingley with just 9 minutes gone in the first period. It's Leeds Rhinos, would you believe it, 0, Castleford Tigers 6. A try and a conversion from Danny Orr, somewhat against the run of play here, and the crowd stunned by that opening score of the night from Danny Orr, and it's Leeds that will have to restart again. Leeds Rhinos 0, Castleford Tigers 6. And Leeds must be wondering what they have to do, because in this opening 10 minutes they've dominated both territorially and possessional. In possession it's the Tigers again, trying to come away with the ball. Brad Eppie waits at acting halfback. moves the ball to his left-hand side. The tackling from Leeds seems to have stepped up a gear again as Epi moves the ball out. Tremendous tackling from both sides here, and a great crowd enjoying a super game already in ideal conditions. Midway between the 22 and the halfway line, inside the Castleford Tigers half of the field, Brad Epi, who's already stamping his influence on this game, takes the Tigers to the halfway line. Now back for the kick, deep and penetrative inside the Leeds half of the field. In possession though, it's Paul Sterling, who takes the ball and then runs diagonally across infield. He plays the ball then to Francis Cummings, who moves the ball infield, and again Marcus St-Hilaire gets involved in the action. It's still 6 points to nil in the visitors' favour. Terry Newton puts the ball out to Mark Glanville. Mark Glanville takes them ever nearer the halfway line, and again Iestyn Harris moves the ball infield. Some good interpassing back to Harris. A long ball out to Leroy Rivet. Rivet can't make the distance on this one. He's blocked as Marvin Golden puts the ball in again to Harris. Harris tries that deft little kick over the top, but it bounces ever nearer the dead ball line, and then it's taken up. And already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Leeds Rhinos players were in the picture then, holding back the Castleford Tigers attack. But it's still Castleford Tigers 6, Leeds Rhinos 0. That try coming as it did in the 9th minute from Danny Orr, and then Danny Orr's conversion adding the 2 points and making it 6 points to nil. Castleford Tigers then in possession. Brad Heppy has the ball. Again, he only knows one way to go, and that's straight forward. He's 10 metres short of the halfway line. The Tigers again having to resort to the kick forward to take play inside the Rhinos half of the field, and a little bit of hesitation there, but Paul Sterling took the ball up well. In fact, he made good yardage as well as Iestyn Harris puts the ball in field to Marvin Golden. Marvin Golden though hesitated just a second, took a great tackle. Leeds though always look capable when they're going forward. Very, very fit, and a side full of flair and skill as Barry McDermott goes forward, then offloads the ball. Darryl Powell finds Iestyn Harris. Again, they're going forward, not releasing it. Kevin Sinfield tackled in possession on the halfway line. And in possession now, Mark Glanville plays the ball to Kevin Sinfield, across to Iestyn Harris for another kick forward. Jason Flowers, though, took the ball well on the full for the Tigers. Flowers takes the ball to the 20-metre line. Again, he's met by a crunching tackle from Francis Cummings, but it's the Tigers who have possession, and what's more important to them at the moment is they also have the lead as well by 6 points to nil. Against the run of play, it has to be said. They're going forward though as Brad Epi moves the ball in the middle of the field there to Dean Sampson. Sampson back to Epi at the play the ball situation, and again they're making good yardage here. That one was Gail Tallick, and this is the kick forward from Danny Orr, who tries to put the defence under some pressure, and it's well taken there by Marcus St-Hilaire for Leeds Rhinos. Under some pressure, he took it safely though. Good run forward here from Leeds as they approach the halfway line. In possession on that occasion, Paul Sterling, and again this time it's Darryl Powell to Iestyn Harris to Marvin Golden. Marvin Golden, can he release the ball back to Harris? He can. Harris is inside the Tigers half of the field when he plays the ball to Darryl Powell. Good yardage gain from Leeds Rhinos here. Again it's Mark Glanville across to Iestyn Harris. Harris pushes off one, makes for the line, tries the little kick forward there for Paul Sterling, but it was just a little too hard. But that was excellent play from Leeds Rhinos. And once again in this left-hand corner they had the Castleford Tigers defence at 6s and 7s, but once again I'm afraid there was no score with it, and it still remains Leeds Rhinos 0, Castleford Tigers 6. A try and a goal in the 9th minute from Danny Orr, the standoff half. And Castleford Tigers again through Brad Epi start the move forward. And once again, it's been a struggle to make yardage. They've had to resort to the kick to get anywhere inside the Leeds Rhinos territory. Epi moves the ball into Dean Sampson. Sampson shrugs off one tackle, not the second, releases the ball though. They're still 10 metres inside their own half of the field, our Castleford Tigers, as Brad Epi moves the ball across to Danny Orr. Orr again moves it to his left-hand side. Still 10 yards short of the halfway line as Epi takes the ball from acting halfback. Now Epi again tries his kick himself forward diagonally, and it's a good one heading for touch, and almost, well, a little bit of a mix-up there by Marcus Saint-Hilaire and indeed Paul Sterling, and the referee says that it will be a scrum down, head and ball to Leeds Rhinos, but they were very, very lucky there as that ball tantalizingly hung a little bit before it rolled into the dead ball area. So it's still Leeds Rhinos 0, Castleford Tigers 6. Danny Orr's try and conversion separates the two sides, but it's the Rhinos through Marcus Saint-Hilaire who can head forward from deep inside their own defensive lines. Terry Newton moves the ball to Mark Granville, and Glanville plays the ball again. Now the big man himself, Anthony Farrell, tries to go forward, bounces off tackles. Mark Glanville though still has possession, and they're still 13 or 14 metres from the halfway line in the middle of the field. Darryl Powell looks to release the ball, misses out one man, finds Yestin Harris. Oh, the ball went on, it was forward, but it matters not because Danny Orr couldn't make it anyway, and he'll have to come back. Will the Castleford Tigers Michael Egar there, who was he was on the break, and it's getting a little bit scrappy at the moment. No fluidity in the play, as we've been playing for some 17 minutes in this first half. Again though, it's Castleford Tigers trying to make their way forward just inside the Leeds half of the field. In possession, Gail Tellick. Gail Tellick plays the ball to Danny Orr. Danny Orr moves the ball into Gail Tellick again. Tellick moves it out to Darren Rogers. Darren Rogers is tackled though 25 metres from the Leeds Rhinos line, and again Danny Orr causes a little bit of havoc before putting the ball in to Jason Flowers. Flowers will play the ball now to Brad Epi. Epi moves the ball out to the left-hand side, where it's Dale Fritz who takes it, and then he finds Danny Orr. Danny Orr back in field there to Dean Sampson. Sampson is within 10 metres of the Leeds Rhinos line, and again Brad Epi saying, come on referee, he's holding him down. The referee will have none of it. Epi puts the ball to Danny Orr. Danny Orr plays the ball out again to Jason Flowers, but the ball was a bad one, and again it's Leeds Rhinos who gain possession. Marcus Saint-Hilaire, the man in particular, as Darren Powell puts the ball out to Marvin Golden. Marvin Golden has possession 12 metres out from the Leeds line, and the referee Bob Connolly from Wigan spotted another infringement there, holding down after the tackle had been shouted held, and the penalty and the opportunity to make some much needed yardage goes the way of Leeds Rhinos. The ball taken out there, was it? No, the referee says play on, and it's Nathan Sykes who has regained possession, and Leeds Rhinos and their coach Graham Murray won't be happy about conceding possession so early, and indeed it really is getting very, very scrappy out there at the moment, a little bit niggly as well, and Castleford Tigers will be delighted as we approach the end of the first quarter in this game. 19 minutes have in fact gone, and why will they be delighted? Because they still lead in this game here at Headingley by 6 points to 0. That try from Danny Orr and conversion from Danny Orr coming after just 9 minutes of the first half, somewhat against the run of play. But it's the Rhinos with Darryl Powell. Darryl Powell puts the ball in, and again The tackles come in on Marcus Saint-Hilaire as Yestin Harris has the ball, spots the gap, forces his way through 2 tackles there, cuts in field, looks for the support, puts the ball back in field to Terry Newton. Newton is tackled though, but that's great play by Yestin Harris. Superb play, and again the infringement this time goes against Dean Sampson, and it'll be a penalty to Leeds Rhinos, almost in front of the post, and it looks like it's Dean Sampson who's also been sin-binned. So the Tigers will be down to 12 men, and with 20 minutes gone in the first half, the opportunity here for Yestin Harris to reduce the arrears to 6 points to 2. Dean Sampson looking completely bewildered as he takes his time and slowly shrugs off the field there, as Yestin Harris, well, he'll jump at the opportunity here to take 2 points from this penalty and pull his side back into the game. A game which has been rather scrappy in the opening 20 minutes, to say the least, but a game in which Leeds Rhinos have territorially dominated without being able to pierce the Castleford Tigers' defence. Although they did come close in the left-hand corner early on and had one try disallowed in the opposite corner a few minutes later. Harris then comes round the corner, right-footed, in front of the sticks, 20 metres out. The 2 flags go up and Leeds Rhinos reduce the arrears. It's the Rhinos 2, Castleford Tigers 6, with 21 minutes gone in the first half. And Castleford Tigers, remember, are down to 12 men. Dean Sampson having been sin-binned just a few seconds ago by referee Bob Connolly. Again, there doesn't appear much hurry to get the game restarted. Crowd rather hushed at the moment. Their side still losing by 6 points to 2, but the signs are that Leeds Rhinos, now playing against 12 men, can soon come back into the game. And Yestin Harris is beginning to make his presence felt in a big way out there on this headingless surface. The long kick forward is taken, and Leeds Rhinos have the ball. Marcus Saint-Hilaire coming away with it. Deep inside his own half of the field, Terry Newton makes his way to Mark Glanville. Glanville again moves the ball across the field. Newton attacking half-back, misses one man out, finds, is it Darryl Powell? Darryl Powell slips the ball infield there to Francis Cummings. Cummings is already on the halfway line as Terry Newton moves the ball infield to Jamie Mathieu, the substitute, into Mark Glanville. Glanville makes good yardage forward. Again, Terry Newton has the ball on this left-hand side. The gaps are beginning to open up. Francis Cummings moves it to Mathieu. Mathieu infield. Good ball again there. And Leeds beginning to tear the Castleford Tigers defence apart as Darryl Powell goes for the ball, for the line, and he's tackled just short. Yestin Harris has it. He's so dangerous from these positions, just 5 metres out, and almost as I said it, Yestin Harris races over the line from 5 metres out. It was Francis Cummings to Jamie Mathieu, a long ball across the field there to Kevin Sinfield. Sinfield hesitated, delayed his pass back, and it was a good pass back in the end to Darryl Powell. Darryl Powell headed for the line himself. He was almost successful too. He was met by a crunching tackle from Danny Orr, which I thought may have stopped the danger then, but the ball eventually from Kevin Sinfield found its way infield to Yestin Harris, and from 5 metres out he sidestepped round Jason Flowers and made it to the line. And Yestin Harris, with all 6 points for his side at the moment, equalises the score, and he's got the opportunity with the simplest of kicks to make it Yestin Harris and Leeds Rhinos 8, Castleford Tigers 6. Just inside the left-hand post, he made hard work of it, but there it goes. Leeds Rhinos 8, the Castleford Tigers 6, and all of a sudden in the space of 5 minutes the Rhinos have turned this one round and they begin to look more and more dangerous. Referee Bob Connolly waits for the Castleford Tigers to restart. All of a sudden they don't look as well, as convincing as they did 5 minutes since. They conceded a penalty, a conversion, and of course that marvellous try from Yestin Harris, Remember, they took the lead after 9 minutes through Danny Orr. It's Marcus Saint-Hilaire coming away with the ball for Leeds Rhinos. They're making far more yardage now on their sets of 6 as Anthony Farrell bounces off the first tackler there. Andy Hill, not the second one. Again, it'll be Terry Newton to Mark Glanville. In fact, it's Lee Jackson now at acting halfback. Still Leeds going forward. Tremendous strength and skill on display out there, and it has to be said at the moment, most of it coming from Leeds Rhinos as Justin Harris again goes forward. Harris puts the ball in field. Marcus Saint-Hilaire this time getting involved in the action and making the drives forward. Saint-Hilaire will play the ball to Lee Jackson. Lee Jackson moves the ball along the line to Darryl Powell. Powell again shrugs off and then misses one man, puts the ball in field, and that is Andy Hay, and Andy Hay's gone forward. It looked at the first time I saw it as if that ball hadn't been touched down correctly, but I'm sure the try will stand. Darryl Powell, a lovely diagonal run. The dummy put the ball in fielder to Andy Hay. Andy Hay had support out to his right-hand side, lunged out, and yes, he put the ball down correctly, and that's the second Leeds Rhinos try of the evening there from Andy Hay, and we've got 26 minutes on the clock. It's now Leeds Rhinos 12, Castleford Tigers 6, and all of a sudden the Tigers look in disarray. Leeds again, coming away with it through Mark Glanville. Mark Glanville plays the ball. All of a sudden the openings coming, and Leeds looking as if they can pile on the pressure and go in at half-time with a fairly substantial lead, having gone behind after just 9 minutes in this first period. It's the Rhinos again inside the Tigers half of the field. Lee Jackson puts the ball across to Darryl Powell. Powell finds Justin Harris. Harris right in the midst of everything good that's happening for Leeds Rhinos at the moment. Darryl Powell again tries the kick forward, but it's the Tigers that are underneath it and can come away and release the pressure on their own line. The tackle coming in the first place there by Marvin Golden. Darren Rogers has it. The crowd was shouting for a knock on there. The referee says play on. Brad Eppie from acting halfback moves the ball in field. Dean Sampson, remember, off the field at the moment, having been sin-binned earlier on. So it's Castleford Tigers going forward. Brad Eppie moves the ball to his right-hand side. Aaron Raper tried the kick forward on the far side. Leroy Rivet takes the ball, rounds one man, but there's two more, including Darren Rogers there to take it, as Marvin Golden waits for the ball at acting halfback, puts the ball in field to Justin Harris. Harris finds Anthony Farrell. Anthony Farrell had his back to the Castleford players when he took possession of that ball, but still managed to turn and make a good 10 yards forward. Lee Jackson to Marvin Golden. Again, Marvin Golden makes good yardage forward, then finds Lee Jackson out to Mark Glanville. Glanville again makes good yardage. They're almost on the halfway line. The man in possession, Kevin Sinfield. Again, the ball goes to ground. Again, it gets a little bit slappy out there. And again, it's Paul Sterling who can't get going because the referee has awarded the scrum down with head and ball to Castleford Tigers. Dean Sampson makes his way back to take his position up in the pack, having served his 10 minutes in the sin bin for an earlier infringement. And this pitch, a word about the ground staff here at Headingley, because this pitch is in immaculate condition, as good as I've ever seen it. And if you can't play rugby league football on a surface like this, Castleford Tigers go forward in the middle of the field. Aaron Raper takes the ball, moves it across, and they still manage to go forward. But the Leeds side looking very confident as Brad Eppie moves the ball to the left-hand side. Dean Sampson eager to get involved in the action. Almost lost his shorts a little bit there. They're still going forward and moving the ball. Danny Orr traps it almost football style and then goes forward again. Remember, it was his try after 9 minutes that caused the upset here and gave the visitors the lead, as Richard Gay bounces off the first tackle, then manages to slip the ball infield there to Nathan Sykes. Danny Orr finds Darren Rogers. Darren Rogers, he had the opportunity to release the ball and didn't, and used up another vital tackle as Danny Orr tries the kick forward, but again Anthony Farrell took it, and he took it very, very calmly indeed, and just went down in possession. Again it's Leeds with possession, trying to force their way forward. Francis Cummings plays the ball to Lee Jackson. He finds Mark Glanville. Glanville puts the ball back in field. It's taken up by Paul Sterling. Sterling heads inside the Castleford Tigers half of the field. Sterling will play the ball to Lee Jackson. Jackson from acting halfback comes on the blind side, moves the ball to Iestyn Harris. Harris then drifts back in the middle of the field, puts a long ball out to the right hand side to Marvin Golden. Marvin Golden shows the ball and his teeth as he runs forward there and made excellent progress. Leeds again looking to go forward. Darryl Powell infield. Again a long ball out to this left hand side. It's Mark Glanville in possession, but they've lost it. Coming away with the ball on this far side, it was Michael Egar who first had possession, and now it's John Wells. Wells will play the ball to Danny Orr. Danny Orr again puts the ball in the middle of the field there, and it's Michael Egar who plays it to Dean Sampson. Dean Sampson. Danny Orr waiting for the ball at acting halfback. Finds Darren Rogers, who's trying to get involved in the game, but he hasn't really stamped any authority on it at the moment, as Brad Eppie takes the ball out, moves it to Danny Orr. Danny Orr then finds Gail Tellick. Gail Tellick still on the 30-metre line, albeit inside the Leeds Rhinos half of the field. And again, they have no other recourse than to resort to the kick forward, and it's taken brilliantly by Marcus Saint-Hilaire, the fullback, who then makes an excellent 30 yards forward, and he's going to score here, and that is a tremendous individual try from the number 14, Marcus Saint-Hilaire. It was a high kick forward. Saint-Hilaire took it quite brilliantly, then broke away, and he had the strength and the pace to find his way through the Castleford Tigers defence and race the full length of the field almost to touchdown and give Leeds Rhinos a very, very convincing lead now of 18 points to 6 after just 32 minutes play. There goes Marcus at Saint-Hilaire, and from the time he rounded the big man there was no way anybody was going to stop him, and he raced quite comfortably right between the posts to touchdown for Leeds Rhinos' third try of this first half, and it makes the score now 16 points to 6 in the home side's favour. Iestyn Harris converts, 18 points to 6, and all of a sudden one begins to worry about what this score could end up in at the end. 18 points to 6, and we've got 7 minutes to go to the half-time hooter. Leeds coming away with the ball again. 7 minutes to go then to the half-time hooter. 18 points to 6 they lead, and looking very, very comfortable in front of the home crowd at Headingley here. 10 metres then inside their own half of the field. They race forward, again managing to shrug off the tackles, and again they go forward as Leroy Rivet takes the ball on the far right hand side of the field. Oh, and Rivet, as he so often does, manages to avoid the tackle there, pushed off one man, then had the speed and pace to go around the other. It was Kevin Sinfield who made the initial break forward. He stamped down there, pushed off one man, raced towards the 30-metre line. He noticed that there was space and room out on the right hand side. The pass looked maybe a little bit suspect, maybe a little bit forward, but Leroy Rivet took possession, bounced through the weak tackling there of number 15, Danny Ellison, and he managed to go behind, leaving Darren Rogers in his wake there, and touchdown. And again, Iestyn Harris has the conversion. The flags go up, and again it's now Leeds Rhinos 24 points, Castleford Tigers 6. And amazingly, it was the Tigers who took the lead after 9 minutes through the try from Danny Orr and the conversion from Orr as well. So 5.5 minutes left in this first period. Leeds Rhinos totally in charge, and they lead at the moment by 24 points to 6. Castleford Tigers in need of a bit of a miracle at the moment. Marcus St-Hilaire, the try scorer, the last try scorer, moves the ball to Mark Glanville, and Mark Glanville this time pushed back by, in the first case there, Aaron Raper, and again they look dangerous. Again they're able to push tackles off. Francis Cummings there already has the Rhinos back towards halfway line. Lee Jackson puts it in, a long ball out to Sinfield. Sinfield finds Yestin Harris, turns infield there to Anthony Farrell. Anthony Farrell heads for the line. Great tackle coming in from Danny Orr. Defensively, Orr has been superb tonight. He brings Anthony Farrell down. Lee Jackson then finds the ball across infield to Sinfield to Yestin Harris. Yestin Harris then finds Jamie Machow, and Machow is only 4 meters from the line as Harris takes the ball out, puts the ball to Francis Cummings. Cummings is tackled. It's Harris at acting halfback. Harris heads for the line, and as he touched down in the corner, it looks like it, yes, and Harris is having a field day out there. And you can see by the reaction on the Castleford Tigers player there as he bent down that they are, well, under severe pressure here as Yestin Harris headed for the line. Touchdown, and with 4 minutes of the first half remaining, Wells there just totally disconsolate. Aaron Raper also disconsolate. Yestin Harris delighted, takes the plaudits from his teammates, and there is the score with 4 minutes to go to the half-time hooter. It's Leeds Rhinos 28 points, Castleford Tigers 6. And it's all one-way traffic, as it has been for the majority of the first half. There indeed goes the half-time hooter. Here at Headingley, the half-time score is Leeds Rhinos 28 points, Castleford Tigers 6. Welcome to the second half here at Headingley. A tremendous, convincing first half from Leeds Rhinos, having seen themselves fall behind after just 9 minutes to that try from Danny Orr, but they fought back to lead by 28 points to 6 at half-time, and they are now totally in control of this game. 28 points to 6 at half-time. Castleford Tigers in possession, and what they need, and they'll know this more than anybody, and without me having to tell them, is an early score to drag them back into this game. They certainly don't want to fall any further behind to a Leeds side who are rampant at the moment. Brad Eppie moves the ball across. The Leeds Rhinos tackling, though, superb in this game as Dean Sampson heads forward, head down, straight as a die. But again, he can only make 5 or 6 yards of space. Brad Eppie at acting halfback comes on the blind side, makes excellent yardage forward and takes the Tigers inside the Rhinos' half of the field. Dale Fritz it was who moved the ball across for the kick forward, and that's a splendid kick that'll force the Rhinos back, but they will have possession on their own 10-metre line and can force play forward. Good crowd watching this game at Headingley, excellent conditions, and at the moment the result is going the right way for the home crowd, and deservedly so. They've been head and shoulders above Castleford Tigers in this first half. Although, having said that, it was the Tigers that took the lead after just 9 minutes. Scrum down then on the 10-metre line. Head and ball to Castleford Tigers. Again, though, it goes against the head there. And how often do we see that? Well, not very often in this game, but it's the Leeds Rhinos who come away with the ball. Yestin Lee Jackson waiting to move the ball across to the left-hand side. They look altogether more eager than Castleford Tigers going forward. Dean Sampson again with a high tackle there, the referee says. Penalty goes to the Rhinos, quickly taken by Lee Jackson to Yestin Harris. Yestin Harris out. And it looks like Adrian Morley who takes that ball forward inside the Leeds Rhinos half of the field, and they can make yardage whenever they want to, it appears, as Lee Jackson moves the ball in. Yastin Harris slips it there to Anthony Farrell. Anthony Farrell again has found the gap forward. He heads for the line. Oh, he seemed to trip up there just meters from the line, and with it the impetus went as well. Infield we have Lee Jackson. Jackson moves a long ball and it just bounced to the rear as Marvin Golden still has possession for the home side. Great interpassing. They move the ball along the line. Superb pressure in the middle of the field. Jamie Mathieu goes for the line, puts the ball out. Paul Sterling has it on that far side of the field. Plays the ball infield to Mark Glanville. Glanville finds Yastin Harris. Yastin Harris had options galore then as he put possession infield to Andy Hay. Andy Hay tried to slip the ball, did do in the end, out to Adrian Morley. Morley finds Marvin Golden. Golden heads for the line, and that is a tremendous try there from Marvin Golden for the home side. 46 minutes have gone in this game. Marvin Golden had the strength, the power and the pace to go over, having seen Adrian Morley tackle just a few metres short of the line. He played the ball to Kevin Sinfield. Sinfield saw the gap on the right hand side. There was Marvin Golden, and that try still needed scoring, didn't he? He had to get round two men, and he managed to force his way through the tackle coming in from Michael Egar. So it's another try to Leeds Rhinos, the first of the second half. 46 minutes have gone, and Marvin Golden's try, converted by Yastin Harris, stretches the score now to Leeds Rhinos 34 points, Castleford Tigers 6. And an altogether disjointed Castleford Tigers side take their time regaining their position at the halfway line. But Connell is the referee, by the way, Wigan-based referee, and he's not done bad in a game which has been easy really for a referee, because Leeds have moved the ball about very, very sweetly indeed. The long high kick there from Castleford Tigers bounces once, and again we see Leeds Rhinos on the attack. Mark Glanville moves the ball to his right hand side as they keep foraging away for the gap. Lee Jackson this time brings in Adrian Morley, it looks like, under the cover of two tackles there. Mark Glanville heavily tackled but still managing to go forward. They still seem to be able to spot the gap, and this man Anthony Farrell has forced his way through several in this game and really taken the Rhinos on the offensive. In the middle of the field, Darryl Powell to Yastin Harris, who kicks the ball away there in disgust as he put that one to ground, and the referee penalises him for it, and Yastin Harris puts his hand up as if to say I'm sorry to referee Bob Connolly. And the Tigers can try and come away with possession. Still, it's the Leeds Rhinos that lead at 34 points to 6 in this game, but the Tigers still going forward. Dean Sampson in possession. Sampson will play the ball to Brad Eppie. Eppie's got support on his right hand side, moves the ball to Danny Orr. Danny Orr tries to find Richard Gay, does do. Gay slips the ball out. It's all getting a little bit fast and furious in the middle of the field. Eppie again moves the ball to Danny Orr. Danny Orr tries the little kick forward. Again it rolls into touch. Territorially it takes the Castleford Tigers forward, but possession wise, well, Leeds Rhinos will have possession from the scrum down, and Castleford Tigers will find themselves up against it again, defensively speaking. Scrum down then on the 10-metre line. Leeds Rhinos come away with the ball, but again the referee Bob Connolly has seen some infringement there, and he's going to call over Dean Sampson, is it? Who's not had a very good evening from the referee's point of view. They've been at each other all night, but the referee spotted some infringement there, and he gives the penalty to Leeds Rhinos, and believe you me, the Rhinos don't need any help tonight from Dean Sampson. They're completely dominating this game with some top-notch rugby league football. The kick takes them to within 10 metres of the halfway line. Still, they look dangerous every time they go forward. They look capable of scoring. Anthony Farrell makes the yardage as ever, then plays it to Lee Jackson. Jackson moves the ball out along the line. Sweet rugby from Leeds as always here, and they're going forward in possession this time. Andy Hay, he moves the ball to Marvin Golden again, and it's Marvin Golden who spotted the gap and managed to go through. Golden makes it 38 points to 6 after 51 minutes in this game. It was all so easy. Adrian Morley held on, timed his pass to perfection, moved the ball along the line to Andy Hay. Andy Hay slipped the ball back in field. There was Marvin Golden to touchdown from about 10 yards out. He raced over the line. Splendid, splendid rugby from Leeds Rhinos. And Golden's second try in 5 minutes takes the score to 38 points to 6. And Sinfield it is with the conversion right between the posts. And all of a sudden, it's Leeds Rhinos 40 points, Castleford Tigers 6. And it's beginning to look a little bit embarrassing for the visitors. Still, though, we have about 28 minutes gone in this game, a fact which won't have eluded the Castleford Tigers coach, Stuart Raper, because from their point of view, that's a hell of a lot of time for Leeds Rhinos to score plenty more points, or indeed for the Tigers to get some respectability out of this game, which they're about to restart in the middle of the field. Leeds Rhinos 40, Castleford Tigers 6. And it's Marcus Saint-Hilaire who comes away with possession for the Rhinos. This time shepherded back by a two-men Tigers tackle. Ball went to ground there, and would you believe it, it looks like a water sprinkler has just come on accidentally and is spouting away on the field, but play carries on. The players still have possession. Leeds Rhinos going forward, and it all gets a little bit comical out in the middle of the field, but it's still the Rhinos going forward and still looking dangerous. They're in possession, albeit deep inside their own half of the field, trying to force their way forward. Marcus Saint-Hilaire, and the referee spotted some crossing there, I believe, and he's given the penalty to Castleford Tigers, still oblivious to the fact that that ray of water still going off, and it's spraying now. It looks, from my vantage point here, as if it's going towards the crowd on that far side of the field, but the players may well be lapping this up. A little bit of a spray, and it's still going off. The referee cannot get play restarted surely while this is going off, and it is an automatic one, so it's giving everybody a fair shower. It's not just concentrating on one or two people, as the referee waits for it to go off before restarting the play. This could only happen in a rugby league match, and the touch judge just stands there nice and coolly as the water stops and play can restart. Let me remind you of the score. It's Leeds Rhinos 40 points, Castleford Tigers 6, the sprinkler system 1. As the Tigers, with the penalty, fine touch on the near side, and they'll be able here to force their way forward as they head for the line. Now, can the Tigers come out of this with a try? In possession, it's Andy Lynch. Andy Lynch has got at his acting halfback Gareth Dobson. Dobson moves the ball across the field. They look dangerous. Danny Orr tries to touch his way out of the tackle. Can't do. And he'll play the ball there. Good ball out to Darren Rogers. Rogers can't make the progress forward. Rogers is tackled. Again, it's Aaron Raper this time who finds Danny Orr. Danny Orr moves the ball out, and this could be a fine try. The ball's been knocked to ground, though, and that was Gail Tellick heading for the line there, and a splendid tackle coming in, and the referee Bob Connolly just checking with his touch judge to make sure everything was all right there. But the Castleford chance went begging, and they can't waste opportunities like that because they've been few and far between, and precious opportunities have to be taken against teams of the standard of Leeds Rhinos. So the score remains 40 points to 6 in the home side favour. And the tap on the 20-metre line sees the Rhinos come away with possession again. Adrian Morley making the yardage forward for the home side, taking them ever nearer the halfway line. They seem to have the space and the time in abundance to deal with anything that Castleford could throw at them, and then they create the openings, and they've got the pace to finish the moves off. In the middle of the field, Carl Pratt, it looks like, who's in possession for the home side. Lee Jackson goes on the blind side. Adrian Morley into passes with Jackson. Jackson slips the ball back. It's gathered up by Dean Sampson. Sampson tried to brush off the first tackle, but he couldn't. And again, Castleford Tigers are still deep inside their own half of the field with possession. They move the ball along the field sweetly there, but can't make much yardage forward. They're only just inside the Leeds Rhinos half of the field. It looks as if the ball went to ground, but the referee has said play on. And now the heading. Is that a forward pass? Surely that is a forward pass on the far side of the field as John Wells puts the ball into Darren Rogers, and Darren Rogers has touched down. That's a try for the visitors from Darren Rogers, and it looked as though the pass across the field was forward. Well, maybe just about, as Wells went forward for the visitors, and he had Darren Rogers inside, and Darren Rogers took the ball from Wells, and then just managed to elude the lunging tackle from Leeds, and he went down not quite behind the post, but it brings Castleford Tigers 4 points nearer the Leeds Rhinos margin and makes the score now 40 points to 10 in the home side favour. And we wait to see whether this conversion is successful. No, and that's a disappointing kick from the Tigers' point of view. Leeds Rhinos 40, Castleford Tigers 10, and Darren Rogers brings the visitors a little step closer to the Rhinos total, but they're still miles and miles behind. Again, it's the Tigers going forward. In the middle of the field, great into passing, and again they've created the gap here, heading for the line, and a superb tackle there on Danny Ellison. Well, that is splendid rugby league from the Leeds Rhinos player Marcus Saint-Hilaire. The superb defence, and Danny Ellison will be disappointed he wasn't able to finish that one off, and it'll be a scrum down on the 10-metre line. 40 points to 10, and we've still, well, we've been playing for about 56 minutes in this game, so we've still got about 23 or 4 minutes to go. Still time for both sides to get points on the board here, as the Rhinos move the ball across. Francis Cummings it is who plays the ball. Now, can they break away from the defence? They've just slipped away from this game a little bit as Castleford have come into it in the last couple of minutes, and they're going to have to be careful, the Rhinos here, because Castleford are beginning to look a little bit dangerous, although Rhinos will tell you, I'm sure, that this cushion they will not let go. Adrian Morley there, disgusted with himself as he knocks the ball forward, as he tried to pick it up and move it in one motion. It's a scrum down, and all things being equal, Castleford Tigers will have possession, still deep inside the Rhinos half of the field, and the Tigers can go forward again. How badly they need a score in this game. In possession in the middle of the field, it's Aaron Raper who moves the ball to Darren Rogers. Rogers is still 10 or 12 metres short of the line. Aaron Raper again moves it across the field to his big number 22, Andy Hill. Andy Hill will play the ball to Brad Eppie. No, it's not in the middle of the field. It's Dean Sampson now who takes the ball forward. looking for the line whenever he gets the ball. He's 5 metres short. Aaron Raper moves the ball to Danny Orr. Danny Orr switches direction, puts the ball in field. Great tackle coming in there from Jamie Mathieu. Still, the Tigers look dangerous. They're heading for the line, and it's Gareth Dobson with possession, but the tackle's coming in, and Leeds have possession. Marcus Saint-Hilaire moves the ball along the line. The referee has seen another infringement. In fact, he's stopping play for an injury to one of the Leeds players. Still 40 points to 10 then, in the home side favour. And the man injured there, Jamie Mathieu, it looked like, for Leeds Rhinos, who come away with possession. Again, they've a long way to go as Castleford have stepped up a gear, trying to pull something out of this game, but they're still 30 points behind, and the Rhinos, dangerous throughout, have got possession in the middle of the field. Tigers still tackling strongly. Again, Adrian Morley shows the ball, makes the break forward. This is tremendous play from Morley. He's looking for support, put the ball out on this near side to Leroy Rivet. Rivet somehow kept the ball alive. Great play, but the referee has brought proceedings to a halt in the middle. Not sure whether he saw a forward pass somewhere in that move, but Leeds again very quick on the break. Some sweet interpassing there. And it has to be said, in all honesty, when they move this ball along the line, Castleford Tigers have got no answer to these penetrative attacks. But it is a scrum down then. The forward pass spotted by referee Bob Connolly, and the Tigers can come away with possession again. Still deep inside their own half of the field. Danny Orr waits for the ball at acting halfback, then moves it to his right-hand side, 10 metres short of the halfway line. In possession, Gareth Dobson for the visitors. Dobson tackled, looks tired, looks a little bit hurt there as he got to his feet in the middle of the field, and Leeds will take heart from that. They know that one or two of these Castleford players are now beginning to feel the pace of this game, and the kick forward there, did it go directly into touch? No, it must have just bounced just before going into touch there, but again it'll be possession back to Leeds Rhinos for the sake of about 10 metres territorial gain. And Leeds Rhinos have got the pace and the strength and the skill, even from this distance out, to turn defence into immediate attack. And with the visitors beginning to tire, the gaps will surely just open up. It's the Rhinos in possession, deep inside their own half of the field, but still shrugging off the tackles from the visitors. And again, Adrian Morley moves the ball to his right-hand side. They seem to be able to keep the ball alive. Barry McDermott it was in the first instance there, who just slipped the ball out, even though there were two Castleford Tigers players hanging off him. Keeping the ball alive seems to be the name of the game, and it works for them so well as Carl Pratt heads forward towards the 30-metre line. They've got space in abundance as the kick from Morley goes over the top. It's gathered though, and gathered easily by Danny Ellison, but Ellison can't make much progress forward. We're inside the last quarter of this game. It's still Leeds Rhinos 40, Castleford Tigers 10, 30 points the difference, and at the moment no real signs of Castleford Tigers reducing it anymore. In the middle of the field, Big Dean Sampson offloads to his number one, Jason Flowers, who lost possession. Leeds Rhinos have it back. Adrian Morley, who's made a real impact on his game since he came on as substitute, and they move the ball across the line. Kevin Sinfield moves it out on the end to Marvin Golden. Golden still manages to keep the ball alive. They just flick it out. They know somebody will be there or thereabouts to keep the play alive. And in the middle of the field, the Rhinos head for the line again. Lee Jackson to Jamie Mathieu. Mathieu out to Francis Cummings. Cummings headed for the line. Didn't quite make it, but they're only 5 metres out now in the middle of the field. Looking dangerous all the time in possession. Marcus St. Hilaire's joined the line there, plays the ball to Lee Jackson, out to Jamie Mathieu. Mathieu moves the ball out to Paul Sterling, and Paul Sterling has touched down there. Bob Connolly, the referee, looks at the line. Sterling has touched down, and we've got 67 minutes of the game gone, and Castleford Tigers are now completely out of this game. Paul Sterling's try in the corner. The gap again just opened up, and he went in unchallenged, dived over the line, and he makes it 44 points to 10 in the home side's favour. And all of a sudden, Castleford Tigers look leap years behind the Rhinos in terms of the score. Sinfield it is, Kevin Sinfield, to come up with the conversion. It's a difficult one, but he seems to have the distance and the accuracy there, and the crowd are delighted with that. Kevin Sinfield's conversion to Paul Sterling's try stretches the score to Leeds Rhinos 46 points, Castleford Tigers 10, and we've been playing for 68 minutes in this game. 12 minutes of this, what must now appear to be purgatory for the visitors, to either pull some pride out of this game, get some points on the board, or indeed for Leeds Rhinos to stretch the gap even further. It's the Tigers that restart, but again, the Rhinos who have possession, and even deep inside their own territory, they look so dangerous, confident, and able to break away at will. Lee Jackson it is who moves the ball out from acting half-back, finds Barry McDermott. McDermott still makes a good 20 metres forward. It's almost carrying men towards the 40-metre line there as he went. Adrian Morley at acting half-back on that occasion moves the ball in the middle of the field. The tackle's coming in fast and furious, but there's no way back at this stage now for the visitors, Castleford Tigers. All they can play for now is a little bit of pride and just try and get some points on the board. Leeds going forward again, foraging forward, looking for the gap. Marvin Golden has the ball. He'll play it to Carl Pratt. Carl Pratt moves the ball in field to Kevin Sinfield. Sinfield tries that deft little kick forward. It's gathered up, but already there are 1, 2, 3 Leeds Rhinos players led by Lee Jackson and indeed Leroy Rivet to complete the tackle. The Tigers then 10 yards should I say from their own line have got a great deal of work to do if they're to put themselves in a scoring position. Remember, they trail at the moment by 46 points to 10, but the Tigers are on the break and they're not giving up here. In possession on the far side of the field, John Wells. John Wells will play the ball to Brad Eppie. Eppie finds Darren Rogers. Darren Rogers goes forward as always, not making much progress on that occasion, but it's the Tigers who look dangerous. Danny Orr there, was he pushed off as the kick was taken? And the referee says yes, he's given the penalty there to Castleford Tigers. And what will we see initiative wise from this penalty? 2 points worth absolutely nothing to the visitors at this time, and they take the quick penalty going forward and try and make the progress. Dean Sampson it is. Can we see a try from the visitors? Danny Orr tries to put the ball out. It's a bad one though, and again the opportunity goes missing. And well, the ball perhaps was a good one. There was nobody there to take it out on the wing. Either way, whatever way you try to explain it, it's an opportunity gone for the visitors. As we almost approach the last 10 minutes of this game. Leeds comfortably in control, and what's more importantly, I suppose, at this point of the game, in possession, leading by 46 points to 10, although deep inside their own half of the field. Lee Jackson moves the ball along the line. Marcus St. Hilaire, as always, eager to get involved in the action. And it must be difficult to find a man of the match from this Leeds side. Yestin Harris in the first half dominated. Marcus St. Hilaire's been superb. Certainly it could be any one of about 7 or 8 players as the Rhinos go forward again. This time Kevin Sinfield tries the kick forward, but it's gathered up by the Tigers defence and they can come away with it, and it will be Gareth Dobson from acting halfback to move the ball along the line. Now Leeds, they just need to do the basics right. There's no need for anything special at this stage in the game. They've got the game won. All they need to do is do the basics and do them well, and the 2 points are theirs. Going forward, Andy Lynch, he'll play the ball to Gareth Dobson. Dobson moves the ball to Dean Sampson. Sampson slips the ball out on that near side to Michael Egar. Egar on the halfway line is tackled. Again, it's Gareth Dobson who tries the kick forward. It'll bounce a couple of times, roll into touch. But again, well, although they take play deep inside the Leeds Rhinos half of the field, the Rhinos, all things being equal, should have possession from the resulting scrum down and be able to take the play ever forward towards the Castleford Tigers half of the field. 46 points to 10 then. The Rhinos lead in this game, and we're inside the last 10 minutes. Carl Pratt feeds the scrum and comes away with the ball, and Leeds again looking the livelier of the two sides and certainly looking the fitter. Castleford Tigers at this stage just looking a little bit tired, but they'll still be looking to get a couple of tries on the board here and regain some pride. But it's the Rhinos going forward, bouncing off these tackles. Tigers unable to just bring the Rhinos to a halt at this stage in the game, and that ball is like a red hot piece of coal at the moment. 10 metres inside the Rhinos half of the field. Now they go forward. Jamie Machow puts the ball infield to Lee Jackson. Jackson turns almost full circle before moving it in again. This is super play from Leeds, but again the referee spots a forward pass there, and he gives the scrum down right on the 40-metre line, and it will be head and ball to Leeds to Castleford Tigers, and an opportunity for them to come away with possession. Aaron Raper it is who will feed the scrum for the visitors. Raper comes away with possession from the base of the scrum, moves it out on this near side. Castleford looking dangerous. In possession is Danny Allison. Allison has to try and cut in field. He'll play the ball to Michael Egar. Egar then moves the ball across the field, and now a little bit of a gap appears on the far side of the field as Jason Flowers goes down in possession. Flowers plays the ball to Gareth Dobson, out there to Aaron Raper. Raper puts the ball in, and this is going to be a try for the Castleford Tigers, and it looks like it's John Wells who's touched down on the right hand side of the field. The ball came out on the far side. In possession there was Aaron Raper. He tried the deft kick forward, and there was John Wells to just grab the ball, touch it down, take it, and that kick precise. And the referee looked at his touch judge to see that there was no offside or anything there. He gave the try, and Castleford Tigers now wait for Danny Orr to try the conversion from the right hand side of the field, some 22 metres from the try line, maybe 10 metres in from the touch line. He comes round right footed. He's got the distance. Will the flags tell us if he's got the accuracy? Yes, they do. The flags go up, and the John Wells try and Danny Orr conversion after 75 minutes of this game make it Leeds Rhinos 46, Castleford Tigers 16, and a little bit of pride has been restored for the visitors. Now it's the turn of Leeds Rhinos to restart the game at the halfway line. They're in no hurry. They're still in a dominant position in this game, leading by 46 points to 16. High kick forward, taken there on the full, safely and coolly. Now what can we see from the Tigers here? As again they've got a little bit of space. Was that a knock on? No, says the referee. They move the ball out again to this near side. Michael Egar is the man in possession, and they're making a lot more yardage a lot quicker at the moment, are the Tigers. They're already within 5 metres of the halfway line there, as Aaron Raper In fact, it's Gareth Dobson who took that ball forward for the visitors there. And he'll play the ball to Gail Tallick. Tallick moves the ball out to Aaron Raper. Raper puts the ball into Michael Eager, and Michael Eager is going over, and that's the second Castleford Tigers try within 4 minutes here at Headingley. And, well, Graham Murray will not be happy with that. Super break by Michael Eager, and he saw he had the space and the pace to go over. It's all irrelevant in terms of the outcome of this game, but from a pride point of view, Michael Eager has gone over, and we wait for Danny Orr to try and add the 2 points to this one, which will, if he's successful, bring the score to 46 points to 22. He's a right-footed kicker, so it's on his right side here, just about 18 metres from the touchline, right between the centre of the post there. And Castleford Tigers have added 12 points in the last 5 minutes to their total, and it's Leeds Rhinos 46, Castleford Tigers 22, and all of a sudden the margin not quite as large as it was, the victory not quite as convincing, although with only a few minutes left the result is beyond doubt, and has been beyond any doubt for quite a long time now. The Leeds Rhinos, though, will want to finish this game off with a flurry. The home fans will want to see their side perhaps be the side to finish the scoring, although at the moment it looks like Castleford Tigers are the side that have regained a second wind here, or a third wind even, and they look the more capable. Still, with minutes remaining, and you never know in this game, Leeds Rhinos have got the skill and the flair to score from any part of this field, and certainly they've got the pace in abundance. It's the Tigers, though, still in possession, looking for progress forward. Danny Ellison goes forward. Did he lose the ball? No, says the referee. Play on. He plays it to the last try scorer, Michael Eager, who brings in Dean Sampson, forcing his way forward towards the 30 metres line. Sampson plays it to Gareth Dobson, along the line to Aaron Raper. Raper finds Danny Orr, and Danny Orr knocked the ball to ground there as he took it. And with that knock on went the impetus and the possession, surely, because it will be another scrum down, head and ball to the home side, and they'll be looking to go on what could well be one of the final attacks of the game. Tigers feed the scrum, the Rhinos feed the scrum and come away with possession. Still deep inside their own half of the field here, being held at bay. Now, what can we see from the Leeds Rhinos side? They're 7 or 8 metres from the halfway line. In possession, Lee Jackson moves it across the field, in the middle of the field. Still short of the halfway line. And again, it's Lee Jackson who moves it to Jamie Macchio. Jamie Macchio finds Kevin Sinfield. Sinfield plays the ball to Lee Jackson, out on that near side to Terry Newton initially, and now, well, it's all getting fast and furious. One Castleford player lunged on the floor there, and in the middle of the field, Terry Newton again. In fact, it's Darryl Powell there who tried the kick and run forward. Superbly taken, though, in the first stage there by Jason Flowers. Flowers plays the ball to Darren Rogers. Infield again to John Wells. Wells tries to make a couple of yards forward. He can't do under the tackle from Francis Cummings, and the Tigers being held at bay. And you can see the instructions for Leeds now. Do the basics, get the tackling, keep the play inside the Castleford Tigers half of the field, wait for a possible mistake, possession, and then pounce. And in possession at the moment is Dale Fritz. He plays the ball to Michael Eager. Eager makes good yardage forward, but again they're up against it. The tackle's coming in fast and furious from the Leeds Rhinos side. Carl Pratt it is in particular there who makes that tackle, and indeed it was the handover as well, so Carl Pratt will have possession. And he's got Kevin Sinfield at acting halfback to Jamie Macchio. Infield to Darryl Powell. Darryl Powell moves the ball along the line to Terry Newton. Newton can't release it, though, because of the tackle coming in, and they're still held inside 10 metres of the Castleford Tigers line. And again, the Tigers are having to tackle well here to hold Leeds Rhinos at bay. Barry McDermott goes forward. McDermott will have Lee Jackson at acting halfback. Jackson moves it across to Darryl Powell. Powell almost missed one out there. Superbly taken in the middle of the field. The referee says there's been no tackle. He gets up and plays the ball to Marvin Golden. Golden tries a little kick and run forward. Oh, and that's a splendid try for Marvin Golden. That should bring the action to an end here at Headingley. A marvellous try from Marvin Golden. A little bit of initiative there. He took the ball about 10 metres out from the line. Tried the little kick and run. It looked at one stage as if it was going to be Carl Pratt who went on his own, but he put the ball out to Golden, and Golden, look, he spotted the gap, dissected the two Castleford players with the little kick and run. The try still needed scoring under pressure, and he managed to pounce on the ball, turnover, and that should be the final try of the evening. It's gone the way of Leeds Rhinos. We wait to see if Kevin Sinfield is successful with the conversion from almost 3 or 4 metres in from the touchline. He's got the distance, it's across the front of the sticks there, and that try from Marvin Golden makes it 50 points to 22, and in fact there goes the final hooter at Headingley, and the score, the full-time score, Leeds Rhinos 50 points, Castleford Tigers 22.